Hello, my friend. Are you ready to learn English today? Let's practice with a fun and exciting story. This is the story of a girl named Maya and her friends. Something very strange happens on their trip. But don't worry, we'll learn 5 useful English phrases along the way. You can shadow with me, just listen and repeat after each sentence. Let's begin. My name is Maya. I'm 16 years old and I live in a small town. I love spending time with my 2 best friends, Saman and Nemo. Last month, they had an idea. Let's go on a weekend trip, Saman said. Where should we go? I asked. I found an old house in the hills, said Nimal. We can rent it for 2 nights. It's very cheap. Why is it so cheap? I asked. Saman laughed. Maybe because it's old and no one wants to stay there. We looked at the pictures. The house looked big and quiet. It could be fun, I said. Let's go, Saman and Nimal said together. So we packed our bags and left on Friday afternoon. It was a long ride, but the view of the hills was beautiful. When we arrived, the sun was setting. As darkness fell, the house looked a little scary. There it is, our first phrase, as darkness fell. It means when night is starting and everything begins to get dark. For example, as darkness fell, the streets became quiet. The house was very old. It had broken windows and a big wooden door. The garden was full of tall grass and trees with no leaves. This place looks creepy, Nemo said. Don't be silly, I said. It's just old, not haunted. We went inside. The floor creaked under our feet, but everything was clean. Wow, Saman said. This place is better than I expected. We chose our rooms. Each of us got our own. Then we made a simple dinner, rice and vegetables. After that, we were tired. We went to bed early. That night, something strange happened. I was sleeping, but I heard a noise. Thump, thump, thump. It sounded like someone was walking upstairs, but all of us were sleeping on the ground floor. There was no one upstairs. I sat up in bed. My heart was beating fast. I got out of bed and went to Saman's room. Did you hear that? I whispered. Hear what? Saman asked sleepily. We waited. The sound stopped. Then we listened for 10 more minutes. Still nothing. Against our better judgment, we went back to sleep. That's our second phrase, against our better judgment. It means we knew it might not be smart, but we did it anyway. For example, against my better judgment, I stayed up all night watching a movie before my test. The next morning, I woke up early. Something felt wrong. I walked into the living room. My bag was not where I left it. My bag is on the table, I said. Nimel came in. My books are on the floor, he said. Saman looked around. And my clothes are on the chair. Did you move my bag? I asked. No, they both said. Then who moved our stuff? We were all confused. We didn't understand what was happening, but we decided to explore the house. Maybe we could find a clue. We went to the biggest room. The walls had old paintings. There was a bookshelf with dusty books. On a small table, we saw some letters written in English. I picked one up and started reading. I can read English, but not perfectly. The letter was very old. It talked about a woman named Kamala. She used to live in the house a long time ago. The last letter was different. It had strange words. I hid my treasure in the safe place, it said. Only the well knows the secret. I looked at my friends. It struck me as odd. That's our third phrase. It struck me as odd. It means I thought something was very strange or unusual. For example, my teacher didn't smile today. It struck me as odd. What does that mean? Saman asked. I don't know, I said. But maybe we should check the garden. Let's look for a well. We all looked at each other. The house didn't feel like a normal place anymore. Something was happening, something we didn't understand yet. But we were ready to find out. We walked out to the garden behind the house. The sky was cloudy and the wind blew softly through the tall grass. Birds were quiet. The trees stood still. It felt like the whole world was watching us. Over there, Saman pointed. Is that a well? Behind some bushes, we saw a round stone shape. It was the old well. The top was covered with wooden boards. The boards looked old, dark, and wet from the night before. There's a strange smell, Nimble said, holding his nose. Should we look inside? I asked. No way, Saman said quickly. That's dangerous. But I was curious. I wanted to know more. I slowly moved one of the boards and looked down. The well wasn't very deep. I could see something shiny at the bottom. There's something down there, I told my friends. It looks like a metal box. Sayman looked nervous. Maya, we need to solve this mystery quickly. I don't like this. We went back into the house and searched for a rope. After a few minutes, we found an old one in the kitchen. I tied it tightly and climbed down the well step by step. It was cold inside. The stones were wet. I felt water at the bottom, but it wasn't deep. I reached the shiny object and pulled it out. It was a small metal box with a lock. I climbed back up, shaking from the cold. We opened the box. Inside were some old black and white photos and a diary. The name on the diary said Kamala. This belonged to the woman in the letters, I said. I opened the diary and turned to the last page. The handwriting was messy, like someone had written it quickly. Today I saw them again. It said, "The people who want to steal my gold, I must hide it. I will put it in the secret room behind the mirror. If something happens to me, I hope someone good will find this diary and help me." We looked at each other. "There's a secret room?" Nimble asked. "Behind the mirror," I repeated. We ran back to the big room in the house. There was a large mirror hanging on the wall. We gently moved it, and lo and behold, we found something behind it. That's our next phrase, lo and behold. It means, wow, or what a big surprise. Use it when you find something unexpected. Example, I looked in my bag, and lo and behold, my lost phone was inside. Behind the mirror, there was a small wooden door. It looked very old and had a keyhole. "How can we open this?" Saman asked. "Wait," I said, flipping through the diary pages. Between 2 pages, I found a small rusty key. I held it up. "Let's try this." The key fit. The door made a soft creaking sound as we opened it. Inside, there was a tiny room. It was dusty and dark, but we could see gold coins, shiny jewelry, and a small table. On the table, there was one more letter. It was addressed to us. To the kind people who found this treasure, it said, "Please take it to the temple in the village. I wanted to give it away before I died, but I couldn't. Please help me. My spirit will be at peace if you do this." We stood in silence. "Kamala wanted to help people," Nimble said softly. "She just needed someone to finish what she started," I added. We understood now. Kamala's spirit was still in the house. She had been trying to guide us. She moved our things. She made the strange walking sounds. She wanted us to find the diary, the letter, and the treasure. That night, we packed the golden jewelry into a small bag. We made a plan to go to the village temple early the next morning. We went to sleep, and something was different. There were no strange sounds. Nothing moved. The house felt quiet, peaceful. We all slept well. At long last, Kamala's spirit was finally at rest. That's our 5th phrase today, at long last. It means finally after waiting a long time. Example, at long last, I finished my big project for school. The next morning, we walked down the hill to the temple. The monks listened to our story. They were very kind. Kamala was a good woman, one monk said. She helped many people when she was alive. They took the treasure and thanked us again and again. We returned to the house to pack our bags. The air felt lighter. The sky was blue. The garden was no longer scary. It felt full of life. "This was the strangest trip of my life," I said. "But I'm happy we helped." Kamala Namal smiled. Sayman nodded. "Sometimes scary things happen for a good reason." We all agreed, and we promised to never forget what happened. Sometimes when something strange happens, don't run away. Maybe someone needs your help. Maybe there's a mystery waiting for you to solve. Hi again, my friend. Are you ready to practice English with me? Now that you've heard Maya's full story, it's time to learn the 5 useful English phrases we saw in the story. These phrases will help you sound more natural and fluent in English. I will explain each phrase step by step with simple meanings and easy examples. You can shadow with me, just listen and repeat after each sentence. Let's begin. Phrase 1, as darkness fell. This phrase means when night begins, when the sun goes down, when it gets dark outside. In the story, Maya says we went to the house on Friday evening. As darkness fell, the house looked scary. So Maya means when night started and it got dark, the house looked more mysterious. You can use this phrase when talking about the time when evening turns to night. It sounds natural and poetic. Example 1. As darkness fell, we lit a fire in the garden. Example 2. The streets became quiet as darkness fell. Now you try. Repeat after me. As darkness fell, the house looked scary. As darkness fell, we turned on the lights. Good job. Let's learn the second phrase. Phrase 2, against our better judgment. This means we knew it was not a good idea, but we did it anyway. In the story, Maya says we heard strange sounds. Against our better judgment, we went back to sleep. They were scared and they knew sleeping might not be safe, but they still decided to go back to sleep. This phrase is useful when you do something even though your mind tells you it's not smart. Example 1, against my better judgment. I ate ice cream before dinner. Example 2, she trusted him again against her better judgment. Now say it with me. Against our better judgment, we stayed in the old house. Against my better judgment, I clicked on that link. You're doing great. Let's move to the third phrase. Phrase 3, it struck me as odd. This means I thought it was strange. Something felt wrong or unusual. In the story, Maya says I read the letter. It struck me as odd. Maya felt something was not right about the words in the letter. They made her feel curious and confused. You can use this phrase when something surprises you or doesn't feel normal. Example 1. It struck me as odd that no one was at the meeting. Example 2. His answer struck me as odd because he was usually very friendly. Repeat after me. It struck me as odd that the door was open. It struck me as odd that my bag was moved. Very nice. Keep going. Let's learn the fourth phrase. Phrase 4, lo and behold. This phrase means wow. What a surprise. Look what happened. It is used when something unexpected and surprising happens. It can be funny or amazing. In the story, Maya says we looked behind the mirror. Lo and behold, there was a secret door. They didn't expect to find a door, but there it was, a big surprise. Example 1, I thought I lost my keys, but lo and behold, they were in my pocket. Example 2, she opened the box and lo and behold, it was full of letters from her grandma. Repeat after me. Lo and behold, the treasure was behind the mirror. Lo and behold, my phone was under the couch. Great work. Let's go to the last phrase. Phrase 5, at long last. This means finally after waiting a long time. In the story, Maya says, at long last, Kamala's spirit was finally at rest. They helped Kamala, and after many years, she could finally be peaceful. This phrase is perfect when you talk about something that takes a long time to finish or solve. Example. When use 1. At long last, the rain stopped and we could go outside. Example 2. He worked hard for years and at long last, he passed the exam. Say it with me. At long last, I finished my homework. At long last, the train arrived. Welcome back. You've learned 5 useful English phrases from Maya's story. Now let's practice using them in short, simple conversations. These dialogues will help you understand how to use each phrase in daily life. Listen carefully, repeat each line after me, and shadow the sentences to build your fluency. Ready? Let's begin. Conversation 1, as darkness fell. Situation 2, friends are walking outside in the evening. Lily, wow, look at the sky. The sun is almost gone. Tom, yeah. As darkness fell, the streetlights turned on. Lily, it's beautiful, but I think we should head home now. Tom, good idea. It gets cold quickly at night. Now repeat this phrase with me. As darkness fell, the streetlights turned on. Great job. Let's go to the next phrase. Conversation 2 against our better judgment situation. Two students are talking after failing a test. Anna, I knew we should have studied more. Ben, yeah, but against our better judgment, we watched movies all weekend. Anna, I regret it now. Ben, me too. Let's do better next time. Now repeat. Against our better judgment, we watched movies all weekend. Nice work. Let's try the next one. Conversation 3. It struck me as odd. Situation: a girl talks to her brother about something strange. Sophie, I saw something strange today. David, what was it? Sophie, the shop was closed, but the lights were on. It struck me as odd. David, that is strange. Maybe someone forgot to turn them off. Now repeat after me. It struck me as odd that the lights were on. You're doing great. Let's go on. Conversation 4. Lo and behold, situation 2. Friends talk about finding something surprising. Nina, I couldn't find my wallet this morning. Jake, where was it, Nina? I looked everywhere. And lo and behold, it was in my gym bag. Jake, that always happens to me too. Now say it with me. Lo and behold, it was in my gym bag. Perfect time for the last phrase. Conversation 5. At long last situation, a student finally finishes a project. Kevin, at long last, I finished my science project. Emma, really, that's great, Kevin. I've been working on it for 2 weeks. Emma, you must feel so happy now. Repeat this phrase, at long last, I finished my science project. Excellent. These short conversations show how real people use these phrases every day. Welcome back, my friend. Are you ready to practice your English speaking with me? In this part, we'll do shadowing practice with the first part of Maya's story. That means you'll listen to me, then repeat exactly what I say, just like an echo. This will help you speak English clearly, naturally, and confidently. Here's how it works. I'll read one sentence at a time. I'll pause after each sentence. You repeat it out loud after me. Are you ready? Let's begin shadowing. Hello, my name is Maya. This is the story of my scary trip with my 2 best friends. Last month, my friends Saman and Naimal wanted to go on a trip. They found an old house in the hills. We could rent it for the weekend. The price was very cheap. Why is it so cheap? I asked. Maybe because it's old, Saman said with a laugh. We packed our bags and went to the house on Friday evening. As darkness fell, the house looked even more mysterious. The house was big and old. It had many rooms. The garden was full of tall grass and old trees. This place looks scary, Neimal said. Don't be silly, I told him. It's just old. We went inside. The house was clean but very quiet. We chose our rooms and unpacked our things. Then we cooked dinner and went to sleep early. At night, I heard strange sounds, thump, thump, thump. Someone was walking upstairs, but we were sleeping downstairs. All 3 rooms were on the ground floor. I felt so scared and nervous. I woke up Saman and Naimal. Did you hear that I whispered? Hear what Saman asked. The sound stopped. We listened for 10 minutes, nothing. Against our better judgment, we went back to sleep. The next morning, something strange happened. All our things were in different places. My bag was on the table. Nimal's books were on the floor. Saman's clothes were on the chair. Did you move my bag? I asked them. No, they both said. We were confused. I had no idea what was happening, but we decided to explore the house. In the biggest room, we found old paintings on the wall. There were also some old letters written in English. I could read a little. The letters talked about a woman named Kamala. She lived in this house long ago. The last letter was strange. It struck me as odd. It said, I hid my treasure in the safe place. Only the well knows the secret. What does this mean? Saman asked. I don't know, I said, but let's look around. We went to the garden. Behind the house there was an old well. It was covered with wooden boards. A strange smell came from it. Should we look inside? Neimal asked. No way, Saman said. That's dangerous. But I was curious. I moved one board and looked down. The well was not very deep. At the bottom, I saw something shiny. There's something down there, I told my friends. Maya, We need to solve this mystery quickly, Simon said nervously. Welcome back. Let's continue shadowing the second part of Maya's story. Listen to each sentence carefully and repeat out loud after me. Let's begin. We walked out to the garden behind the house. The sky was cloudy and the wind blew softly through the tall grass. Birds were quiet. The trees stood still. It felt like the whole world was watching us. Over there, Simon pointed. Is that a well behind some bushes? We saw a round stone shape. It was the old well. The top was covered with wooden boards. The boards looked old, dark, and wet. There's a strange smell, Nymel said. Should we look inside? I asked. No way, Simon said quickly. That's dangerous, but I was curious. I moved one of the boards and looked down. The well wasn't very deep. I could see something shiny at the bottom. There's something down there, I told my friends. It looks like a metal box. We went back into the house and searched for a rope. After a few minutes, we found one in the kitchen. I tied it tightly and climbed down the well. It was cold inside. The stones were wet. I reached the shiny object and pulled it out. It was a small metal box with a lock. I climbed back up, shaking from the cold. We opened the box. Inside were old black and white photos and a diary. The name on the diary was Kamala. This belonged to the woman in the letters, I said. I opened the diary to the last page. The handwriting was messy. Today I saw them again. It said, "The people who want to steal my gold, I must hide it. I will put it in the secret room behind the mirror. If something happens to me, I hope someone good will find this diary." We looked at each other. There's a secret room, Nimal asked. Behind the mirror, I repeated. We ran to the big room. There was a large mirror hanging on the wall. We gently moved it. Lo and behold, there was a small wooden door. It had a keyhole. How do we open this? Someone asked. I flipped through the diary again. Between two pages, I found a small rusty key. I held it up. Let's try this. The key fit. The door opened slowly with a creak. Inside was a tiny room. It was dark and dusty. We saw gold coins, shiny jewelry, and a small table. On the table, there was one more letter. It was written for us. To the kind people who found this treasure, it said, "Please take it to the temple in the village. I could not do it before I died. My spirit will be happy if you help me." We were silent. Kamala needed our help. We packed the treasure into a small bag. That night the house felt quiet, no strange sounds, no moving things. At long last, Kamala's spirit was at peace. The next morning we walked to the village temple. The monks listened to our story. They thanked us and said Kamala was a kind woman. We returned to the house to pack our things. The house felt peaceful. The garden was full of light. This was the strangest trip, I said, but I'm glad we helped Kamala. Sometimes scary things happen for a good reason. Don't run away. Try to understand. Maybe someone needs your help. Welcome back, my friend. In this part, we will practice speaking English using phrases from Maya's story. These are real-life expressions you can use every day. You will listen and repeat after me. Ready? Let's begin. Section 1, asking questions. Let's practice some useful questions from the story. Repeat after me. Why is it so cheap? Did you hear that sound? What does this mean? Should we look inside? How do we open this? Is that a well over there? Good job. These are simple, natural questions you can use in many situations. Section 2, expressing fear or confusion. Let's learn how to talk about feeling scared or confused. Repeat after me. This place looks scary. I don't know what's happening. I feel nervous. Something's not right. That's dangerous. I'm so confused. Very nice. These phrases help you share your feelings clearly. Section 3, talking about the past. Let's review how Maya talked about things that happened. Repeat after me. We packed our bags and left. We cooked dinner and went to sleep. I heard strange sounds at night. I found a small key in the diary. We gave the treasure to the temple. The house felt peaceful in the morning. Excellent. These are simple past tense sentences. Use them to tell your own story. Section 4, giving your opinion. Now let's practice sharing thoughts and ideas. Repeat after me. I think someone lived here before. Maybe there's a secret room. I believe the spirit is gone now. I'm glad we helped her. Sometimes scary things happen for a good reason. Great work. You can use these phrases when you want to share your opinion in English. Section 5, every day, phrases to sound natural. These phrases are short and very common. Say them like a native. Repeat after me. Let's go. Don't be silly. Wait a minute. Are you sure? No way. Come on. What's going on? Nice. These are the kinds of phrases people use all the time in conversation. Let's practice a mini dialogue. Now let's try a short conversation. I'll read both people's lines first, then you will repeat both. Sam, in this house looks kind of creepy. Maya. Don't worry, it's just old. Salmon, but I heard something last night. Maya. Really? Are you sure? Salmon, yes, it was coming from upstairs. Maya, let's go check it out together. Now you repeat the full dialogue. Ready, begin. Let's welcome from back. In this part, we will practice your listening and understanding skills using Maya's story. You will hear a short part of the story, then I'll ask you questions. Try to answer out loud in simple English. This will help you improve listening skills. Understand real English better, speak clearly and confidently. Ready? Let's begin. Listening section 1, listen. Maya and her friends arrived at the old house on Friday evening. The house was big, quiet, and surrounded by trees. At night, Maya heard footsteps upstairs even though everyone was sleeping downstairs. Now answer these questions. When did Maya and her friends arrive at the house? Answer Friday evening. What was the house like? Answer big, quiet, and surrounded by trees. What did Maya hear at night? Answer footsteps upstairs. Well done. Listening section 2, listen. In the morning, their things were in strange places. Maya's bag was on the table and Nemo's books were on the floor. No one knew how the items were moved. Later, they found old letters talking about a woman named Kamala. Now answer, what was strange in the morning? Answer, their things were moved. Who was mentioned in the old letters? Answer, a woman named Kamala. Good job, you're doing great. Listening section 3, listen. Maya found a small key in a secret part of the diary. They went to the old well behind the house. There, they found a hidden treasure and took it to the temple. After that, the house felt calm and peaceful. Now answer, what did Maya find in the diary? Answer, a small key. Where did they go after that? Answer, to the old well. What did they do with the treasure? Answer, they gave it to the temple. How did the house feel after that? Answer, calm and peaceful. Amazing work. True or false practice, say true or false after each sentence. The house was small and new. False. Maya heard someone walking upstairs. True. The key was found under the bed. False. Kamala was the woman who once lived in the house. True. The story ended in a scary way. False. Great job. You understand the story very well. Bonus speaking practice. Wow. Now try to answer this question in your own words. What did Maya and her friends find in the old house? Try to say your answer out loud. They found old letters, a secret diary, a key, and a hidden treasure. Perfect. Welcome back. In this part, we will learn and practice useful vocabulary from Maya's story. These words will help you understand and speak English more easily. We will learn new words, their meanings, and how to say them in sentences. Let's begin. Vocabulary Group 1, house and places abandoned, meaning left empty, no one lives there. Example, they stayed in an abandoned house. Diary, meaning a book where someone writes their thoughts or stories. Example, Maya found a diary in the drawer. Well, meaning a deep hole in the ground to get water. Example, there was an old well behind the house. Attic, meaning the space under the roof of a house. Example, let's check the attic. Repeat after me. Abandoned. Diary. Well, attic. Great job. Vocabulary group 2, feelings and emotions. Scared, meaning afraid or frightened. Example, Maya felt scared when she heard the sound. Nervous, meaning worried or unsure. Example, Saman looked nervous in the dark. Brave, meaning not afraid, showing courage. Example, Maya was brave and opened the door. Confused, meaning not sure what is happening. Example, I'm confused. What does this mean? Repeat after me. Scared, nervous, brave, confused. You're doing amazing. Vocabulary group 3, actions. Explore, meaning to look around and discover something new. Example, they explored the house carefully. Whisper, meaning to speak very quietly. Example, he whispered, did you hear that? Unlock, meaning to open something with a key. Example, Maya used the key to unlock the box. Hide, meaning to put something where others can't see it. Example, she hid the diary under the bed. Repeat after me. Explore, whisper, unlock, hide. Nice work. Vocabulary in sentences. Let's practice full sentences. The house looked abandoned. I found a strange diary in the attic. We explored the garden and found an old well. I felt scared, but I tried to be brave. She whispered something, but I didn't hear. We used the key to unlock the door. The treasure was hidden under the floor. Now say the sentences out loud. Practice speaking clearly and slowly. Let's try a quick quiz. I'll say a word and you say the meaning out loud. Diary. What is it? Scared. How do you feel? Explore. What do you do? Brave. What kind of person? Unlock. What action is that? Great. These words are useful in many stories and daily situations. Welcome to the final part of this English practice story. You followed Maya and her friends through a suspenseful and emotional journey. Now let's review what you've learned and finish with a powerful message. Take a deep breath, smile, and let's begin. Story summary. Let's remember the key parts of the story. Maya and her friends traveled to an old house for the weekend. They found strange things happening, footsteps, moved items, and a secret diary. The diary led them to a woman named Kamala who once lived there. They discovered a hidden treasure near the old well. They returned it to the temple and the house became calm. In the end, they understood that some stories need to be remembered, not forgotten. Repeat this out loud. This story helped me listen, speak, and understand English better. That's true. Every time you shadow a story, you grow stronger in English. Final vocabulary review. Let's go over a few important words again. Word. Meaning abandoned, empty. No one lives there. Diary. A book for writing personal notes. Brave, not afraid. Strong inside. Whisper, to speak very quietly. Unlock, to open something with a key. Explore, to look around and discover. Treasure, something valuable and hidden. Say them with me. Abandoned, diary, brave, whisper, unlock, explore, treasure. Great job. What did you learn? You learned to listen carefully to English. Repeat after the speaker shadowing. Answer questions using full sentences. Understand a full story from beginning to end. Use real vocabulary in context. And most importantly, you practice speaking every step of the way. Be proud of yourself. Final message. Believe in yourself. Let's end with this message from Maya's story. Sometimes the past calls us to listen, not with fear, but with curiosity, not with anger, but with understanding. When we are brave, we discover more than secrets. We discover who we are. You are not just learning English, you are building confidence step by step. Every word you speak is a step forward. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and never give up. Repeat after me. Shadowing practice, I am learning English every day. I speak more clearly and confidently. I believe in myself. I enjoy English stories. I will keep going. Yes, you will. Thank you for learning with me. This is the end of Maya's story, but just the beginning of your English journey. Keep practicing with more stories, more shadowing, and more speaking. Whenever you feel unsure, remember you finished a full 10-part story in English. That's amazing. Come back anytime to practice again. See you in the next story. Thank you, and keep speaking English.